Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Mandy, the Handmade Homeschooler, and today we're going to be talking about and reviewing the BJU history curriculum. So BJU stands for Bob Jones University, just so you know what that acronym is. If it's your first time to my channel, I want to welcome you. Make sure that you hit the like and the subscribe button, and check out down below in the description box, I have my free homeschooling group where you can ask all kinds of questions about curriculum and homeschooling in general. We switched curriculum last year in the middle of the year, and it was really hard trying to figure out what I wanted to switch to. And when I figured it out and gave it a try, I was honestly really surprised. So before I really launch into that, I have to explain a little bit here. So let me back up. So both of my children kind of have the same type of learning style, and they like the same type of curriculum. And I've noticed this through the years. It's not something that I push, it's something that I kind of just let them figure out on their own. And then once they figured out what they liked, it became easier for me to pick out curriculum. I was able to really pick up early on in our homeschooling journey that both of my kids really liked traditional style curriculum. Traditional style it's pretty easy to spot. It feels a lot like regular school, like public school. A lot of kids don't take to this type of curriculum, but some kids do. And my two are definitely in that category. And I don't know why that is, but you know, honestly, I'm just glad that I was able to figure it out, because this makes picking out curriculum so much easier for me now that I know what style they like, and it makes finding a successful curriculum much easier. So BJU kind of fits into that category. We're not really looking at gentle curriculum or even Charlotte Mason, which, you know, if I had my choice, I would want to pick out these beautiful Charlotte Mason type of curriculums, you know, anything that had literature-based curriculum. I really wanted my kids to take to Sunlight. It did not happen that way because I had to go with what they take to. So now that I've kind of explained this, now I can go into why this is working for us. So although I won't be using BJU in the coming year, I'm actually using Generations, which is kind of still in that traditional category. I did want to go over BJU while I still had it before I sell it, and kind of give you an idea of what this is. This is a really solid curriculum, I will tell you that. This is very thorough, very solid, and we learned a lot in just the half of year that we use this. We use this for about 6 months. I was very impressed with it, and I was impressed with the quality and how much you got for the price. So for the price that I would pay for a normal history curriculum, I got a lot more, and I'll show you all the pieces here. So the first thing you're going to get, this is the kids textbook. Now this is the updated version. I believe they are going through a period where they're updating their curriculum right now. This is the updated grade 5 history. This is American history, but they call it Heritage Studies. So their histories are heritage. So this is Heritage Studies 5. So this is the textbook. So you're going to get that, of course. You're going to get an activity manual, answer key, and you're going to get an activity manual. I actually don't have the activity manual, but it's basically the workbook that goes with this that has all of the worksheets inside that are blank for your kids to do. Then you have the teacher book. I really like curriculum that comes with a teacher book. I don't know why. I don't know if it's some kind of like thing inside my brain where I just feel safer if I have a teacher book, but I really like that it's coming with a teacher book. So you're also going to get test booklets. So this is the answer key, and it also comes with the blank test too. And then in the teacher manual, you're going to get a CD-ROM that has all kinds of things inside of it for you to use. And this is where I think BJU really shines. And see, it's just a regular CD-ROM. This is where BJU really stands out, because this is where you get all of the enrichment things that you can use. So on the CD-ROM is so many things, and I actually printed all of it out at the beginning of the year and just put it in a binder because that made it so much easier than me going every single week back and forth from the printer to the computer trying to get all of the materials. Having it just printed out and ready to go and just, you know, divided with my little divider tabs made my life a lot easier, and I think it went a lot smoother. Now, do you need to do everything in here before I get all of the questions? No. I really believe that this was written for a classroom, kind of like a Beka. If you're familiar with a Beka is used in an actual brick and mortar school, and then they made it available for homeschoolers. And a Beka was really written for the classroom. And BJU is very much like a Beka, but I think it's more colorful and more engaging, especially in the history department. I will give them that. The A Beka history curriculum felt really dry and boring. This one was so much better. It's more colorful, it's more engaging, and I think that there's a lot more there for the kids to keep them involved than A Beka. A Beka history was just that one subject within A Beka that just wasn't jiving with us, and we just really drug through, and it was one that I knew I had to replace. If you're doing A Beka and you feel the same way, try BJU. It's very much the same style, but it's much more engaging, and I think it's more fun. So Heritage Studies 5 really focuses on American history, and we learned a lot going through this set here, and I think that they really did a good job with it. I love all of the pictures. It's a very, very colorful textbook and workbook. So the workbook, and this is one of the things that I love, the workbook is very colorful. Everything is in color. There is not black and white. It is not dull. You're going to get map skills. You're going to get questions and answers, matching, a lot of pictures, and I think that really keeps kids involved, and it really did keep my son, who is more advanced, totally involved and engaged in his history. So I really enjoyed that as far as the basics of BJU. Now with the CD-ROM, you're going to get a lot more than just the norm, and I love that about this curriculum. I really do. The basic structure of BJU is you're going to take it chapter by chapter. So it's not the same thing every single day, but it's really the same rhythm through each chapter. So you're going to begin a new chapter. You're going to get a vocabulary list of things that you can go through with your kids to make sure that they understand it. And inside of the teacher book, you will get those vocabulary words, you will get the definition, and you can go over those. You're going to go over a basic summary of the chapter. You're going to go over a basic summary of the chapter, the titles, and kind of just discuss what they think they're going to be reading about. And then you're going to get a summary for yourself and extra things to tell them about the chapter or different points in the chapter to kind of go along with it. Now, these things are not totally necessary, especially if you're just homeschooling 1 or 2 kids like me. But if you're homeschooling a group, this is perfect. So if you have a couple of kids around the same grade or in the same grade and you're using BJU, this can totally work for that. I think that this would be a great table subject if you have kids in the same grade. As far as the rest of the chapter, they're going to read a passage, and then they're going to have activity manual worksheets to do after. My kids love worksheets. Not all kids like worksheets. My youngest, I don't know what it is, he just really enjoys worksheets, so this was a really good fit for him. And the worksheets really are important for the tests because there are tests at the end of the chapter. So toward the end of the chapter, they are going to do a review. So they'll have usually like a review type of day where they can go back, kind of study the chapter, read over their activity manual sheets, and then the following day they take a test. Each chapter also has within it different book suggestions, and I like that about it. It will tell you different books that would be a good fit to kind of go along with the curriculum and with what they're reading, so you can also do that. Again, it's not necessary, it's just one of those, you know, additional enrichment activities. And then they also have visuals and additional instructional worksheets. Again, the instructional aids are not necessary to complete the curriculum, but they are helpful, okay? So with that, I'll show you kind of some of these and what they look like. We didn't do all of them, we did some of them. So they'll have some that are like this, and there'll be, you know, additional maps. And yes, everything is in color. And then some of them are like this, where they will have things where they actually fill in the blank type of things. And these really help with the instruction and with the comprehension of what they read during that specific day. And they will tell you in the teacher manual which ones are going to be for the day, so you can already have them, you know, done and ready to go. Or if you're going to skip them, then you know you can just skip them. So some days we did this, some days we didn't. More so than not, we did go ahead and do the instructional aids, but there were some times that we did not do them. So on the CD-ROM, you're going to get the instructional aid keys. So that's all of the answers. So these are the answer sheets. Then you're going to get instructional aid limited use. You're going to get the answer keys for those. You're going to get visuals, which visuals is exactly what it sounds like. It's additional pictures to go along with the lesson. So you're going to get pictures of different maps. You're going to get, there's so many things in here. There's different pictures of the people that the chapter was focusing on. We found one of money from a different time period, and we thought that that was really cool. My kids really liked that one. There's all kinds of things inside of the visual aids. They are just pictures to go along with what you're reading that were not included in the book. And then there's quizzes and the quizzes answer key. We actually didn't really do the quizzes. I didn't find them necessary. My son was, because he's a bit more advanced, he gets really involved. So the quizzes were not totally necessary for him, but if you feel like it's necessary for your kids, go ahead and do them. So you're gonna get the quizzes and the quiz answer sheets for those. And basically what I did was I just, you know, like I said at the beginning of the year, I just printed everything out, hole punched it, and then just stuck it in a 3-ring binder. And then I just put that along with our teacher book, and every time I needed something, I would just go ahead and take that sheet out and then lay it out for the day. It was so much easier that way. So the tests are basically made up of questions from the activity manual. So these are the ones that are actually important for the test taking. And most of the test questions will be taken directly from these sheets right here. So you want to make sure that they do those for the tests. Everything else is optional and kind of an enrichment type of thing, but the actual activity manual sheets, I would not skip these if at all possible. So I'm going to turn their camera around and I'm going to kind of show you guys a little bit of a look inside of some of the pieces. So here's the main 3 pieces. You have the textbook, the teacher's manual, and then the activity manual key. And again, like I said, you're going to have another book that looks just like this, that is the activity manual sheets for your child. And that's the consumable that you need. So just a little flip through the book so you can see what it looks like. This is the beginning of a chapter, and these are what the beginnings of the chapters look like. So you have a really nice picture, a focus of what you're going to be learning, and then a timeline at the top. So let's take a look at the teacher's manual. So at the beginning, it kind of shows you a different breakdown of all of the different pieces and how to teach this. And then you have a lesson plan overview. This isn't totally necessary. It's easier just to follow each lesson as you go along. Here is a lesson breakdown of lesson 1. And then you're going to have the Teach for Understanding and then the activity manual sheets and what they're supposed to read. So this kind of breaks it down at the very beginning of each lesson. So each day is a lesson. So this would be lesson 1. So this is the very first lesson that you would do with your child. And it kind of explains everything and what you need to do. And then it'll show you in these little notes here if something is on the CD, and it'll tell you where to find it. Here's an overview of chapter 6, and it's kind of the same thing. You're going to have an introduction, what the chapter is going to be focusing on, and then down here you're going to have a table of all of the different things to look at. So you have vocabulary words, you have content, so you kind of have like a little timeline, and then they're going to show you what activity manual sheets are going to be used and the text that they're going to be reading, and then this is going to go from lesson 46 to 54. And then over here, this is kind of just an enrichment activity. So here is a book that they have that will go with this activity if you want to get a book ahead of time to read. And then you have introduction questions and answers. So they have questions for you to ask your child, and then they have the answer for you. And then something else that's kind of neat, they will have these questions and answers of review questions of what they read the day before and what they read that current day. So you will have different questions and answers to go over with your child. And some of them are critical thinking, and some of them are just easy ones pulled from the text. So this is a great way to kind of gauge how your kids are comprehending what they're reading. So there's a look into the teacher's manual, so you can kind of see what you get with that. So here's a look at my notebook here. And this was pretty easy to put together. I really just wanted to have something organized where everything was where it was supposed to be. And I know this looks like a lot of printing, but I use my Epson printer, and my Epson is really, really good with the printing, so I really wasn't worried about the ink levels at all. And I'll link that printer down below if you guys want to go check it out. That printer has been one of the best investments that I made for my homeschool. So here's some of the activity sheets that you can see. And then here's all of the answers for those papers there that I just showed you. And then here's the visuals, and this one is honestly one of the most exciting ones that are in here. So hopefully that gives you kind of a good idea of what this looks like on the inside. All right guys, I hope that was a good look at BJU Heritage Studies for grade 5. And let me know if you guys have tried this, and if you guys like it, let me know what you guys think about this one. I think that this was a great curriculum. You get so much for the price, and this is definitely one that you can keep and pass down to the younger kids as the older kids grow and the younger kids grow. This is a good one just to keep passing down. And then I really think that this is going to be one that you're going to get a good return on when you go to sell it as well. So that's all I have for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Happy homeschooling.